S&P 500 was down 0.25% today, and everybody on the financial Twitter/X is freaking out saying that this is the top, the world is over, etc. But we do have a really big week coming up. We have earnings for a lot of Mag 7. We also have Fed tomorrow, which is going to impact the market. And what I wanted to do right now is just hop in, give you guys my thoughts on the overall market, why I do not think that this is necessarily the top just yet, and what are some major things that we would have to look for a potential top in the market. Now, for those of you who have been following me in my analysis for the past couple of months, you're going to know that we were looking to buy the S&P 500 at lows of $480. Now, this is not me just in hindsight and cherry picking. We made multiple videos on X and YouTube talking about this smart money zone and going over the $500 to $480 price level that we were expecting the S&P 500 to pull back to, and more importantly, to bounce at. Now, if we go back and take a look at how things were setting up back in April and May, the reason that we were targeting this area is because we had an institutional buy level and a smart money zone seated there. Now, these levels are normally going to be the lowest that institutions will allow a stock to pull back to, especially an index like the S&P 500, before they enter to buy it up. The reason for this is they are getting a significant discount in a bull market. And if you are an institution, that's exactly what you want to do and what you want to look for. You want to see a bull market where the market is making higher highs and higher lows, but you do not want to be buying at the top. In most cases, this is where we're going to see retail buying because they have FOMO and they think the market's going to go up forever. Institutions are going to wait for these institutional buy zones and, more importantly, these smart money zones before they enter a position. And that's why we were targeting $480 to $500. You can see that we ended up breaking for a moment, but then price ended up fully recovering, bouncing off of that support level. Then here on the week of April 21st, we get our first close of higher lows on the BX trender. This is a very good indication that the bottom is in. From there, we were bullish on the S&P 500 and thought that it was going to continue to run. Now, for those of you who follow me intently, you probably remember back here in May, I opened up a very small put position on the S&P 500 as a hedge. Now, the reason that we did this is because if we're going to reject anywhere, it's going to normally be at the bearish smart money zone. So the same exact thought process that we have to the upside happens at the downside. And so normally what I will do is after the market bounces like this, because 90% of my portfolio was long, I will put a hedge in place. And the reason that we do that is because this is a high rejection area. Now, if price would have rejected here, then we would have continued to sell back off to 520. But since that didn't happen, what ended up happening was we swept this smart money zone. Once we sweep and break that level, then we have clear skies for a continued breakout or a continued expansion. And real quick, if you want to learn how to find these setups on your own and get access to the same exact indicators that I use, we built a free training system just for that. The link is down in the description, and over 20,000 other traders are currently using it every single day. That's exactly what has happened, and that's why we have remained bullish on the S&P 500. Now, the thing that you need to ask yourself as an investor or a trader is, are you currently getting a discount on the market, right? All signs are still pointing north. All signs are still showing that this market is going to continue to expand, but we're definitely not getting a discount. Remember, institutions want a discount. And if you want to do well in this market, you have to think in the same way. And the truth is, no, you're not getting a discount, but that doesn't mean that the market does not continue to go up. More importantly, if we zoom out to the monthly chart, you're going to notice that when the BX trender is green, this is a very good sign that we can get a multi-year expansion and a multi-year breakout. Back here from 2023 in February, we expanded and broke out 60% within 700 days. Then back here in July of 2020 up to December of 2021, we expanded 63% within 518 days. If we continue to go back, you will see we had a massive 2-year expansion from May of 2016 all the way up to December of 2018, January of 2018. So when the monthly BX is green, this is a very good indication that this expansion is going to continue. So I would not be shorting the market at all right now. I think that if I'm looking at the market overall, I would potentially be taking some profits off of the table, expecting a potential short term rejection. The market will not and cannot just continue to go up vertically forever. But I do think that even if we pull back, it's probably only going to be 2% to maybe 4% before we get another sizable rally to the upside. And the main reason I'm making this video is because I see so many people who try to time the top in the market and short the S&P 500. I can promise you that I do not short the S&P 500 and I haven't in a very long time. In fact, the biggest thing that changed my trading journey over the past 10 years was trading with structure and trading with the trend. Yes, you could look at something like this and say, "Oh, look at all the downside." No, what you want to be doing is not trying to time the tops. You want to be timing these pullbacks inside of these institutional buy zones. You want to be getting a discount on a bullish market. So if you were unable to buy the bottom back in April when we were talking about this institutional buy zone, now is not the time to necessarily load up. We're constantly talking about trade setups and good deals in the market. So realize that there are just other setups that are out there. And if you want to make sure that you're getting those notifications, then hit the subscribe button. Or if you're watching on X, make sure that you're following along. Now, one potential indication of weakness for the S&P 500 could be if this weekly BX trender closes dark green. This is normally an indication that an expansion is not over. But like we said, we could see a potential pullback. But even then, we still have 3 days left in the trading week. We have earnings for most of the Mag 7. So we don't really know how this is going to close.